What's going on, Black Avenger? AKA the Black Azrael, Lee Sanders here of the RCWR Show, coming with you all. Oh, what is it? St. Patrick's Day. What a nice way to go into St. Patrick's weekend, isn't it? I mean, you wear the green. I'm black. I really could care less about St. Patrick's Day, honestly. I might have a little bit of Irish in me. I'm not sure. Otherwise, as far as I know, I do like Irish cream in my coffee. That's as far as Irish I go. I do like the Leprechaun movie, so I am actually going to be checking out the Leprechaun marathon we have going on right now. But honestly, I couldn't think of a better way to enjoy St. Patrick's Day weekend than by checking out some Leprechaun. Iron Fist on Netflix was just released today. I was looking forward to binging on that. But then I get this very interesting question that came to me on Twitter. I was minding my own business, enjoying a nice, good, deep sleep after coming home from work. And the question was, hey, Lee, what do you make about this stuff that went down with Paige? And I go, what happened? And there was a name thrown in there, Brad. I'm thinking, Brad? Who the hell is Brad? Brad. And then the lights went off. And I say, oh, God, please no. Please tell me this did not go down. Do a little bit of digging around online, and that brings us to right now. Now, we aren't going to do no silly little 27-second,
So WWE Deva Page, her photos and videos online, and subscribe.
No, we're not going to come at you guys like that. I damn sure ain't going to show you the pictures and the videos. Come on, this is YouTube. This ain't no freaking hustler.com or getbent.com or threewaypenetration.com. This ain't like that. You know, we got to keep it clean on here. But what I will do, unlike some of the other people that are here, I don't know. I have an idea as someone that used to do YouTube here full time. I know how the game is played. You have a lot of people that'll give you the click and bait, but there's no substance. Well, I'm going to give you some substance, give you all something to marinate on until I hear from you all next go round. So let's go ahead. Let's go there. And I do want to hear from you guys as far as your reactions to this. I didn't say erections. I said reactions to this. So post your thoughts in the chat. Let's go there. So as we all know by now, WWE Superstar Paige, she was in a little bit of hot water with the WWE off and on within recent years. Honestly, you really got to home in on 2016 alone, maybe tail end of 2015 as well. When she started dating Alberto Del Rio, things really got pretty serious with the two. But amongst WWE personnel, higher management, they honestly felt that Paige, Alberto Del Rio, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This guy's pretty old. He's got the wife. He's got the kids. She's still young. She has the entire world ahead of her. This does not make any sense. This is honestly, a recipe for disaster, and certain people involved, and Paige commented on this publicly, Del Rio commented on this publicly as well, that basically you had forces in the WWE, mira, no good for you, get away. That's pretty much the gospel that was spread. A lot of people were going to Paige, get away from Del Rio. You don't need him. But when it was all said and done, she madly fell in love with this guy. There is something called love, folks, okay? And the rest is history. She pretty much wanted to be with him night and day. Feeling from Del Rio was mutual, although some of you guys kind of say foul because you really, as far as you were concerned, you weren't really seeing any of those displays being put out there. But you fast forward a little bit, Del Rio gets released from the WWE. This was his second go round back in the company. We know he was tearing it up with Lucha Underground, and probably ultimately because of that work that he was doing in Lucha Underground, AAA, that's probably what ultimately had got him back to the WWE the second go round. We all could be in agreement. The second reign of Del Rio, it didn't go. It went over like a wet fart when it was all said and done. When it comes to the League of Nations or when he was teaming up with Zeb Coulter, it never really felt on point. It didn't live up to Alberto El Patron, right? So he's now off. He's doing his thing. Just made a fantastic debut over at the Impact Wrestling promotion about 2 weeks ago. Shout out to Impact Wrestling, by the way. They pulled in bigger numbers than what they had did last week. They've been on a nice, steady, somewhat kind of an increase in their viewership since Anthem has now done a flip for the Impact brand. Paige being ever as supportive. Paige recently asked Del Rio if he would marry her. So they're engaged now. I believe they're going to be getting married in the next couple of months. So bright future ahead of them. Things looking really good for Paige. I mean, rumor had it that at one point she was going to be getting out of the WWE because she really didn't like what was going on with contract negotiations as she wanted out. WWE realizing they got an awesome thing in Paige, especially considering how young that she is. They really were trying to do everything they could to keep her. And I think one of the ways that they were able to iron things out is, hey, you know what? Paige has a really interesting story. And anybody that knows the story of Paige knows that her in-ring wrestling career started when she was a kid. I believe like at the age of 7 or 8. That's how long she's been involved. I mean, she was born into the wrestling business. Now, you've seen some of the little documentaries floating around on YouTube, but for WWE to come in, try to put their own little unique spin to it, they want to take a shot at it, right? So they teamed up with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his production team to go on ahead and make a film documenting Paige's career. So you had some casting that was all said and about. I know the guy from Saved by the Bell. I can't think of his name right now. I got to refer to my girlfriend. The Hispanic guy with the black curly hair. Mario Lopez. Thank you, hon. Mario Lopez. I said, look, and if you look at the pictures of him now, you all will agree with me. And Mario even retweeted this and liked it. Paige even liked this and retweeted it. I said, hey, if you haven't cast Del Rio yet, Mario Lopez would be a perfect Del Rio. He's got the body down. He's got the face, everything. My girl just said, mm-hmm. Say it again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Okay. So go see it for yourself. Now, whether or not he can actually acting wise pull it off, that's a different story. But hey, marinate on that. So anyway, so things look to be pretty good for Paige coming back, and she's got this movie going on. They've already shot several scenes. No telling how much of the production is done. Then you have a little something called a sex tape and nude pictures that just leaked a handful of hours earlier today. Have I seen the content? Yes, I saw the content. Because I had to see with my own 2 eyes. Quite honestly, I had to know whether or not with 100% accuracy if in fact this was Paige. And sadly, this was Paige. Also, something that like, wow, blew the hell out of my mind. It looks as though Xavier Woods is part of a little bit of these fun times with Paige, is the best way that I can put it. As at one point, we see in one of many clips involving Paige, someone said it best in a chat forum. They said the way she was having her rendezvous is like always a different atmosphere. Every time you see her doing the thing, it's always a new background. It's almost like the Hardcore Championship. It's defended anywhere, any place, anytime, 24/7. And the way you see some of these videos and still pictures, it's like Paige is like the hardcore title, anytime, any place, anywhere. So, but what was really kind of like, wow, was the fact that Brad Maddox is seen in one of these videos and he is with a camera. He is just doing his thing, watching Paige from behind ride a looks like to be with 90% accuracy Xavier Woods. That's just one of the things that I will only really talk about. And there's a reason why I'm bringing up these particular names. But one of the names I really want to home in on right now that honestly a lot of people are probably not going to be talking about. They're probably going to be talking about the fact that, sex tape, nude pics, subscribe. No. Marinate on this for a few ticks. Anybody remember Brad Maddox, right? Brad Maddox, I feel, may be the source of these leaks, and I'm going to explain to you all the reason why. Now, Brad Maddox was released from the WWE. What was it? Almost feels like maybe 2 years ago, give or take. I'll say a year and a half, maybe 2 years max. Definitely not 3 years ago. And when he was released, the story that was put out there was basically he was in front of a crowd, and I believe he called them wussies, or maybe he called them the P word, but he said something like, okay, yeah, any heel would say that. Yeah, sure. What the hell? And the rumor on the beat was that he was released because of that it basically made Vince McMahon furious. Keep in mind, he did not say this on WWE programming. He said this at a house show that was not taped. It wasn't a WWE network exclusive. He said it at a regular house show. And Vince McMahon was described to be very furious. This is what all the dirt sheets were going with. And when he does his few series of interviews and he's asked about what was up with your release, did it actually go down the way that you said it went down? He's like, oh, yeah, it did. I know, that's crazy, right? And there were a lot of us veteran podcasters, radio show hosts that were like, you know what? There's more to this that meets the eye. Something just smells kind of funny, because like the very next week, after Brad Maddox got fired, and I know this for a fact because I remember me and my colleagues, we were all like having a laugh about this online. There was so much profane language that was used on that next week's episode of Raw. And there were a lot of us that were like, so wait a minute, Brad Maddox says this, but it's okay for these guys on live TV on the USA Network to say this? Yeah, something doesn't add up. So then we started hearing rumbling. Stay with me now. Stay with me, because I'm making some points. I know you are starting to see the dots connect. So we hear rumblings a couple of weeks later, after Brad Maddox was released, that one of the reasons why he was released from the company was because he had a notorious reputation for not only hollering and having sex with many of the women on WWE's payroll, but that he was filming them. And that a lot of the women that he was filming, he was either filming them without their knowledge, or he was filming them kind of like, I won't say team pressuring them, but he definitely was pressuring them to allow him to film them when it's all said and done. I don't know if maybe this came about where he said, look, it's okay. This is just for my private collection. This is just so I can get my jollies off. You know, don't pay me no mind. You know, everything is all good. But I bring up this name because, one, you see that video that I just mentioned where it looks as though Brad Maddox, he's got a nice ringside seat as Paige is with Xavier Woods. And then you have a scenario come about where you see Brad Maddox, looks to appear to be Brad Maddox. He's having his own adventures with Paige. So I would not be surprised if in the coming weeks, as far as some type of a lawsuit goes, if Brad Maddox is maybe going to be one of those people that is going to have to go to court over this and pay some serious punitive damages, the works, when it's all said and done. Now, something called a IP address, with the right lawyers, and 9 times out of 10, WWE, they may actually, because Paige is young, that's an investment. That is a young girl that they can invest in for many years to come. I don't even think the girl is 26 yet. So they can invest in her for like the next 10, 15 years. So depending on what legal actions Paige wants to take, I'm sure that she has WWE's lawyers and all that, the whole payroll at her disposal. So let me tell you something. They will very quickly be able to trace the IP address of this leak. They can put up whatever mirrors and all that all they want. They're going to be able to track this individual down. And I think when it's all said and done, if Brad Maddox did not directly release this content, I have a feeling that it's a possibility that maybe he showed it to just enough people that maybe while he was sleeping, somebody decided they were going to help themselves, and just a matter of sending it to their phone, and then they upload it a couple of weeks later to wherever. I think honestly, when it's all said and done, no matter what, you're still going to be able to connect it all back to Brad Maddox. Honestly, I think the powers that be in WWE knew exactly what was going on with this whole situation. And I think ultimately one of the main reasons why they decided to go on ahead and fire Brad Maddox was because they felt that, okay, this guy's a little bit too creepy. And honestly, this is like a tornado in the works. Let's just be done with this guy. And I'm going to try to see if I can pull up the interview. I tried to pull it up for you guys right before I went live on the air, but I wasn't able to find it. But maybe you all's memory will kind of be jogged. But I kind of want to say that I do remember at one point, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but I could have sworn at one point Brad Maddox did do an interview where he had said something along the lines of he did have his fair share of fun with some of the women on the roster. What I can't recall is if whether or not he said he would maybe one day release some of that content. Now, I would like to believe, because he's a pretty smart man, that he did not say such a thing, because that's one hell of a way to get yourself blacklisted, not only in the WWE, but I would imagine that's a hell of a way to get blacklisted amongst like the entire wrestling industry when it's all said and done. So you know, I actually kind of feel sorry for Paige. I really, really do. This look, all joking and all that put to the side, I have always been a fan of Paige. I thought that for a young girl, what she brought to the ring, I honestly, she was very intriguing to me. One of the first times I saw her, I couldn't quite put my finger on her. I looked at her, I said, okay, she's got this whole goth British gimmick thing that's going on. The in-ring ability looks to be pretty there. A little bit rough, but then as time had progressed, I started to really see her adapt to the style of WWE, but at the same time, she was actually able to do her own thing, in shaping it in a way where she was following the WWE formula, but she was still kind of breaking out in her own, standing out at the same time. And I don't know if maybe because of her unique look was maybe part of that or what, but I started to become a fan of her work really quickly. And I have always been consistent, and any longtime listener will know this, that honestly, when I first heard the stuff about Del Rio, my whole thing was, look, man, if she's happy, she's happy. It's really none of our business. We all were that young at one point, and we followed love where we thought it was going to take us, quite honestly. And that's where she's at right now. So if she feels she wants to spend forever with Del Rio, that's her business. It's not ours. At the end of the day, only thing I give a damn about, she's happy and that she's healthy and she's entertaining in the ring. That's what I ultimately care about. And I'm sure, like many of you, I've definitely been waiting for her to come back to the ring and entertain us once again. It's really sad that with just about 2+ weeks away from WrestleMania that this news had came about. One of the first things I'm thinking about is what type of ramifications, if any, is Vince McMahon maybe gonna take, because it's pretty clear as day that Xavier Woods is in here, and Xavier Woods is now the host of this year's WrestleMania. Not to mention, oh my God, can you imagine what's going to come about with the next 2 episodes of Raw before WrestleMania when New Day comes out? I pray to God that the chants are not New Day and we'll just say Rooster, but you all know exactly what I mean. So I would imagine, as far as radio interview appearances, I would imagine New Day is now going to be off limits at all costs. I'm sure that any other WWE superstar that's going to be doing interviews leading up to WrestleMania are going to be told, do not go this route. Do not talk about this. If they bring it up, they try to bring it up live on the air, you shoot that bad boy down. I would imagine there's going to be a gag order that's going to go into effect. I must say, as an African American, I actually was really looking forward, believe it or not. And I know their comedy has been lame as fuck the past several months, but I actually was looking forward as an African American to seeing New Day host this year's WrestleMania, because other than Dwayne The Rock Johnson, it's really been a good minute since we've had some black hosts for a WrestleMania. So I can't wait to see how everything's going to play out. If maybe they're going to be removed, somebody else is going to be put into place. What exactly is now going to happen with the production for Paige's movie? Is Vince going to be so fucking furious that he's just going to scrap this altogether, or is he maybe going to put the production at a standstill, come back at a much later date? There's so many scenarios that, you know, honestly, that's what you all need to be thinking about when it's all said and done. You all need to be marinating on that, because I think that by this week, I think there's going to be some serious negative fallout from this as a result. And it's just unfortunate when it's all said and done. Assuming that Paige, because I know health-wise she was dealing with some nagging injuries. I know she was considering surgery at one point. I haven't checked up on her health status as far as, I believe she did get surgery done. So I'm not sure if she's close to 100% just yet. But I would imagine that as far as a immediate return to the ring, I would imagine that's not going to happen probably for a couple of months until this really, really dies down. So a lot to really think about when it's all said and done. But I definitely want to get you all's input, find out what you all thought about this news that had came about. And, you know, I'm kind of looking at some of the interactions that we have that's coming to us live on YouTube right now. And if you want to also get my attention on Twitter, you can as well. While I got you all's attention, please do me a favor. You appreciate the way I broke this down for you all. Do me a solid, leave me a thumbs up. If you leave a dislike, I'm totally fine with that, but just go that extra mile and actually comment on why you're leaving a negative thumbs down in the comment section below, or get at me on Twitter as well. And if you like how I brought this to you all, then even more the reason why you need to make sure you check me out every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, live on Spreaker.com. Talk about the very latest from WWE, TNA, wrestling, a little bit of pop culture news, beyond. Talk a little bit about everything. Got you talking. We're talking about it on the RCWR Show. And for you TNA fans, we do a little something called Impact Showdown for you all every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. You can catch the simulcast here on YouTube, also on Spreaker as well. And if you can't check out the show live, you can scoop it up on demand and on the downloads, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeart. It's all over the place. I'm at Twitter and Facebook at the RCWR Show, and I'm just seeing some of the comments right now we got in the YouTube chat. And DeMonte Johnson, as far as he's concerned, he's like, she's done. That's got to be it. She's got to be done now. Some of you that have checked out the film content are saying it was a bit average. You really weren't that impressed. DeMonte continued on. He says, that's a damn shame. I'm surprised at Xavier Woods that he's involved in that mess. Damn. Yeah, I am as well. I think, just kind of going back to Paige for a quick second before I go back to y'all's comments, we should not be surprised at, and I'm just going to be blunt, because I think a lot of you all that have been our longtime listeners, you all are young adults. I think we need to be honest. Look, let me put it out there, because I'm trying to find the right words to say, but I'm just going to throw it out there. In our 20s, we all had strong sexual appetites. We all were trying to find and carve out our own identity. We were young. We were carefree. We weren't really thinking about marriage. Hell, even in our late teens, like, you know, once we discovered sex, it was kind of like, wow, this is pretty freaking cool. Not feeling tied down to the same person, just doing it whenever, wherever, with whomever. A lot of us late teens going into our 20s had that really strong sexual appetite. But what usually happens, boys and girls, once we start getting to the age of 24, 25, that's when we kind of go, okay, you know what? I'm kind of getting a little bit too old for this crap. It's about time for me to settle down, maybe try to meet somebody steady, think about settling down, getting married, maybe eventually having a couple of kids. You know, now that I kind of got the career together, the money's intact. So I'm actually, and I know this may sound a little bit surprising to some of you all, maybe even our younger listeners, because maybe you all like, no, I would never go that route. But I'm actually not surprised at her sexual escapades. I'm not surprised at least up until she got with Del Rio, I'm not surprised at her sexual appetite, at least how it was in the past. Now, that may still be the case now. It's just that now she is just a one woman for one man. She believes in a monogamous relationship. So I'm not surprised at that. But at the same time, it's amazing how actions from the past can kind of come back and mess up whatever you're trying to do at the present. I hope that is not Xavier Woods, but I tell you, it sure as hell. A lot of people are like, that's Xavier Woods. I mean, you see the trademark hair, the stocky build, the trademark abs. It appears to be the brother. That's all I gotta say, man. Let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat here. We got Vito B. He's saying Brad Maddox is the real MVP, passing her off to Xavier like a G. But Vito goes on to say, but real talk, I hope they catch that guy and give him proper punishment. Yeah, Xavier may be married, man, but I tell you what, that's a strong ass lookalike if it's not Xavier. And see, look, please, guys, don't hit me with that whole, but this person is married. There is such thing as cheating. In a different lifetime, yours truly was a total douchebag to my, now God rest her soul, ex-wife. And I cheated behind her back and she knew about it. Okay. Rest her soul, because she's no longer amongst the living. We squashed things. We ended up being friendly, way before she passed and everything. But, don't hit me with that whole, but this person's married. So that doesn't mean anything. It's all about the character. That's what I really want for you guys to really home in on. So for those of you that are of legal age and you see this video content and you're like, wow, is that Xavier Woods? And then you go, but he's married. No. In 2017, now more than ever, being married doesn't mean a goddamn thing. There's plenty of guys and women that are on the down low, whether that's they like playing with the same team or they just like to spread it around. It's hard to be in a monogamous relationship in 2017. It really, really is, because with so much cheating that's going on today, a lot of people just feel discouraged from getting married and all that. It's like, well, I like what we got. This arrangement is perfect. That's how a lot of people are in 2017. Let's see what else we got here. Looking at some of the other comments we got in the chat here before we wrap this up. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through here. I like that one. All that crap about bootios and twerking has to stop from New Day. Yeah, it does kind of give new meaning to that. Yeah, Trexter getting off work, hearing this news. Yeah, pretty damn sad, man. Pretty damn sad. This was when Paige was young. I think we need to define that, Joseph. Paige is still young. I think what you really mean to say is this was at a point in Paige's career where she was still a bit naive. I think maybe that's the right word that maybe we can use, naive, because when she first came to the WWE, if I'm not mistaken, I believe she was maybe like, gosh, she was either like 19, 20, or 21 when she first came into the WWE. So, I mean, there's naive. I'm not going to say young, because to kind of let it be an age thing, I've met 21, 20, 19, 18-year-olds that surprisingly were very mature for their age, light years ahead of their time. They knew right from wrong. That's what I always try to explain for people. Everything in life is a choice. There is no such thing. Well, there's always a choice. Probably the only thing you cannot control is when you die. Other than that, you pretty much got control over everything. Right? So I would say naive more as opposed to young. I see somebody bringing up FCW days, saying Tyler Breeze was supposed to have lived with Paige, I guess, at one point. Hope Breeze wasn't in the sex tape with Paige. Psh, I don't know. I don't know. Really makes him look bad, though, considering the role he had with WWE. Consequences Creed. Hey, Lee, and wow, what a day. And to be honest, I feel like this is going to help Paige in her career in a weird way. Well, I mean, if you're Brazers or if you're Vivid Entertainment or if you're Hugh Hefner, yeah, for those guys, they see what they see. Yeah, they probably may be like, hey, Paige, what's up? We'll give you like X amount of. So I don't see how it would exactly help her. I mean, if you mean from a marketing standpoint, if maybe it would help her, not in the universe of the WWE. Let's understand something. Until Triple H and crew are given the full reins of the company, until a situation comes where like it's gonna somewhat kind of go back to the Attitude Era days, understand something, people. WWE has a responsibility as a public traded company to their advertisers, to their sponsors, to their network executives, the president of the network. They got a responsibility to all of those people. So the fact that they are a publicly traded company and they are trying to do their very best to make their content be as kid friendly as humanly possible. You all that have been to WWE events, you know what I'm talking about. So to even try to somehow capitalize off of this, if this was the WWE from back in the 90s, oh, hell yeah. WWE, Vince McMahon and crew would be looking to capitalize off of this big time. But given how the water has changed since then, it's got a new taste to it. It's got a new flavor. Honestly, I mean, look at how quick Vince McMahon was to, let's talk about Jimmy Snuka. Okay, hide his name in the search engine from the WWE.com, the WWE Network. Let's even kind of quietly just like put the hush on him in our alumni section. Look at what happened with the Hulkster saying the N-word and how he was blacklisted for several months and all that. So past history has shown WWE, whenever there's like a scandal like this one, they kind of want to do everything in their power to kind of put some distance between themselves and that. So as far as how this would exactly help Paige, not in the world of WWE. I mean, now more than ever, this is WWE. It's now crunch. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to end it on this note. This is now crunch time for the WWE. Because now the powers that be in WWE are going to have to take a step back and they're going to have to say, gee, you know what? Is this investment really worth it? I mean, yeah, she's not even like 26, 27 yet. I mean, we got this girl for like a decade. We can do so many cool things with her in and outside of the ring. But this latest drama, is it really worth it? Or is it just better to cut our ties? So this is really crunch time now. I don't know what the future holds, but this is really going to be a true stepping stone for WWE as far as if they want to continue on with any type of a relationship with Paige, or if they're going to want to have their distance from them as much as humanly possible from her and this whole fiasco. I can tell you this much: if a scenario were to occur where WWE would break ties with Paige, she definitely would be white hot on the independent circuit. That's a damn fact. I mean, you guys heard about that New York event that went down some weeks back. She showed up with Del Rio, and Del Rio was doing like $30, $40, $50 for autographs. She was just there supporting him, supporting her man. And people were like, hey, it's Paige. Hey, can I get it? And she was posing for free. Promoter hears about this, and he's like, wait a minute. That's a lot of money that we're losing right there. Then they switch it up and say, hey, if you want a picture with Paige, you're going to have to also take it with Del Rio, and it's going to be $150. So she's definitely in demand. Let me tell you, she's definitely in demand. But I would imagine if WWE were to cut ties from her, yeah, as far as shoot interviews go, white hot, she'd be popular. Free agency market, yeah, she'd be white hot What's Paige doing at the Impact Zone? That very well could happen, let me tell you. Or Lucha Underground. Those two very well could happen. Impact first before Lucha. Brazers, Vivid. I hate to say no, but everybody has a price. I mean, seriously, if somebody walked up to you, and now some people have class and principle, but other people, hey, you're telling me I can make $10 million just from doing about 45 minutes of sex? All right, sign me up. You're STD clean, clean, right? You're free, right? You ain't got nothing. No herpes, nothing. You ain't gonna give me nothing. Okay, 45 minutes, sex with 4 different people, $10 million. And I'm set for life. Okay, where do I sign? Everybody's got a price, but then some people have class and principles. So this is a development that we'll continue to check out for you guys. All right, so other than that, looking at some more comments we got from you guys. Old girl, interesting. Lucky STR8, an old girl just used me to get the attention of another. So see, you know exactly what we're kind of talking about, Lucky. Let's see, and pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. So continue interacting, post your comments, let me know what you had thought. And again, if you appreciated this, give me your thumbs up. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna shut this down because I think I made all my very valid points, and I don't want to take up any more of you all's time. It is St. Patrick's Day weekend, after all. You got Netflix, you like Marvel, go check out the new Iron Fist. I'm definitely going to be binging on that myself in just a little bit. Remember, stay connected. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, at the RCWR Show. Give me them likes, hit the subscribe so you never miss out. Check out the podcast, man. Come at you guys live every Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker. Thursday nights, same time, 10 p.m. right after Impact goes off the air. You can catch me live on here and on Spreaker as well. Thanks, you guys, for checking this out. Wishing all y'all be safe, be kind to one another. Everybody do take care. Good night, good morning.